Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
Mary Pitsicalis joining us here again today from beautiful Long Island, Levittown, New York. And she's divinehealthcoach.com. That's her website. And that's exactly what she is. Yeah, she's a health coach specializing with autoimmune diseases. And again, the name of the company is Divine Health Coach LLC. Welcome back. How are you?
I'm doing well, thank you. How are you?
I'm doing great. Pleasure to see you here. It's great to be on Zoom. For those of you just on the podcast, we're also live, so we get to make that face-to-face contact, which I prefer.
Absolutely.
Beautiful. Great to see you. Would you mind just giving us a little introduction as to who you are, what you do?
So I'm Mary Pitsicalis. I have a health coaching business that I started a few months ago. And, it's all about nutrition, health and well-being, stress management, all of those good things to make your life better. That's
Ah.
basically it.
Well, I'm glad that you're here. Just to confirm, you are certified as a nutritional health coach, right? From the Integrative
Yes.
Institute of Nutrition. Just important to know.
Mhm.
And you mentioned you're most happy when you're helping people, which I got to
Yes.
learn about you last time we spoke as well.
Mhm.
You've shared your own struggles with diabetes, weight, anxiety, so on and so forth last time. But for those that may not know, tuning in today, would you mind just sharing a little bit about that? And I know we are going to focus more on diabetes again today as well.
Okay. When I was probably about 42, I developed diabetes. I'm now 52. And it was a struggle to figure out why I had such high blood sugar all the time. I was foggy. I had headaches. My feet were tingling. My hands were tingling. All these crazy things were happening, and I didn't know what was wrong until I figured it out with my doctors, who ended up putting me on medications to try and lower my blood sugar. Diabetes is very important to me because I know people that became amputees because of it, because of uncontrolled sugar.
Mm-hmm.
And it's the slow killing disease. You can either be hypoglycemic, where your blood sugar goes too low and you can actually die, or it is the slow killing disease, which it could cause heart disease, stroke, all of the above, if not well controlled. So I've battled a long time with it, but now everything is regulated. I'm considered pre-diabetic, my numbers, so I've really come a long way after losing 60 pounds.
Right. Well, for beginners out there who are not familiar with diabetes, I know there's type 1, type 2.
Mm-hmm.
But again, I'm not even sure what diabetes is. And it is also genetic, right? Because I did some genetic blood work and they say I'm predispositioned to get type 2 diabetes. And I
Right.
know my grandmother had it.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just, concerned. And would you mind just giving us a little bit of a breakdown of what it is? And then we'll get into some of the ways that you can help someone, fix it or manage it, shall we say? I don't know.
Right.
Can you cure it or no? Or we got to say
It
manage.
can it can be cured.
Really?
Um, I fully believe that if you lose a ton of weight, you can, go back into the normal numbers. Whether your doctors will keep you on medications or not, that's another story. Like, I'm considered now at a pre-diabetic level, but my doctors are keeping me on the medications because it's working.
Yeah.
And some people have type 1 diabetes, which normally they're born with, where,
Okay.
their pancreas is not working properly and they're not producing any insulin. So that's their problem. With type 2, it's onset from later in life and it just happens out of nowhere. But usually it doesn't necessarily mean it's genetic, because no one in my family ever had it.
Okay.
So I developed gestational diabetes when I was pregnant
Me
twice.
too. So did I. I
Yep.
had to take that. It's funny. I just found that little machine, the Acu something that I
The
use.
AccuCheck.
Yes, in the closet. I'm like, do I need this still? And I kept it. I'm like, maybe I'll need this again. Yes, I
Yeah.
remember it pricking my finger every day.
Yes, I prick my fingers every day.
Oh,
And now they have this new thing called the Libre, where they put it on your arm. It's a little sticker and it actually monitors your blood sugar second by second. And you could just tap your phone next to it to read your
what?
blood sugar.
Does it inject you? Like,
No,
no, it's just a bit. Wow.
it's just
Okay.
like a sticker, it looks like an air tag.
Awesome.
Yeah. So with diabetes, it is very crucial that you drink a lot of water. It is very important to walk a lot because that's what lowers your blood sugar.
Okay.
And there's a certain way of eating when you have diabetes that no one ever told me. And I figured it out finally, that if you eat your vegetables first on your plate, then your protein, then your carbs. You're allowed to have carbs. It doesn't say you're not allowed to. But if you eat it in that order, your glycemic index won't go flying up like if you eat something super sugary and sweet, your sugar is going to go up and then it's going to go down.
Ah,
And then you feel like you're too low and you'll pass out.
vegetables first, protein next, carbohydrates. Thank you. Got to repeat that. Okay, good.
And another thing that I learned, if you are going to eat carbohydrates, make sure that you eat it with a protein. So I remember eating half an English muffin, but I had to have some type of protein with it. I would have eggs or a piece of ham or something like that, just to counterbalance the effects of your sugar going too high and then dropping.
Okay.
So that's something that I learned and works for me. And going through eating bread, a lot of people will have a sandwich. That's about 50 carbs right there, 2 slices of bread. You're better off eating a fresh hard roll that's only 24 carbs. And it's not processed.
Then it gets confusing with the carbs and the type of carbs and all that. How do you, and as a nutritionist, you're as a health coach, how do you break this down for people to, because simple sugars and it's hard to remember what's what.
Yeah. So basically what comes from fruit is natural sugars. So that is okay to have in moderation. So there are some fruits that may have more sugar than most, but the best ones for diabetics and people that are on keto or anything like that, Atkins, the best things that they can use are berries, such as strawberries, raspberries, blueberries. Those have a lower sugar amount in it.
Got it. Okay.
Where a pineapple has a lot more sugar in it, so you should eat less.
Okay.
So you notice, like, when people eat oatmeal, they have it with blueberries, bananas. That's gonna raise it because of the bananas, because there's a lot of sugar in bananas. But it also has a lot of benefits. It gives you a lot of potassium.
Potassium, that's the word. Yeah, that's the one.
So you just have to find out the balance individually. Each person is different.
Okay.
Pineapples might not work for somebody. Blueberries might not work for somebody. You just have to figure it out. And the amount of oatmeal that I see in packages, that's no good. You have to do the normal steel cut oats, organic, and that will be better for you, more beneficial.
Not the minute one. You add yeah, it's like a cup of water in the microwave. It's okay. All right, good. I have those instant ones for my kids. They don't like
maple brown sugar.
Yes, yes. That's it. The maple. It's like a variety pack: a banana, nut, and Oh, okay. So, as an integrative nutrition health coach, I mean, you're going to help walk us through this. If someone would come to you with all their labs done, right? Obviously, knowing what they have ahead of time, which you could help review, and then you set forth a plan to work with them on the nutrition and going forward. What always seems to be the most complicated part of it, though? Is it the following the strict guidelines of what you could eat, or are there other factors that come up that you have to account for?
There's other factors that come up, and it has to do with their stress levels. It has to do with hormonal issues also. So we have to find a way to recommend to the client that they need to meditate, they need to go out for walks, anything to clear their mind. Because when you hold on to so much stress in your life, you're not able to lose weight, even if you're doing everything right. Your body will be in fight or flight mode, and it will not be in regeneration mode. And we talk about their sleep habits.
Mm-hmm.
Everything plays into it. That's why it's a holistic approach. We talk about your stresses, your job, your marriage, whatever it may be,
Mm-hmm.
because there are things that need to be eliminated or worked on in order for you to heal yourself.
Yeah.
People carry a lot of stress inside of them, and they need an outlet, and it can't be alcohol, it can't be drugs, it should be exercise,
Yeah.
meditation, balancing everything.
Got it. And you also wrote a book as well, right?
An ebook, yes. Mhm.
And what is that called?
It's just the 5 ways to fight inflammation. That's directly on my website, divinehealthcoach.com. And there are all different things that help fight inflammation, and there are foods you need to avoid. As you can see, I have puffy eyes this morning. Right
Allergies
here.
or what?
Not allergies. That's
Getting
when
in
I
the
have
way?
inflammation. And then my back starts hurting. And it could all be due to stress. It could be due
I was going to say,
to,
did you eat something yesterday that, or do
no, I
you
was
know your
very good
triggers? So you're
yesterday.
good. Okay. Yeah, you're a pro.
Yeah, I figured this out a long time ago, but I'm sure if I had a donut or something, I would be inflamed the next day. But no, I know better now.
Yeah. But still, sometimes it's unavoidable, as you
Right,
mentioned, right? Because you don't know what you did to have the inflammation today.
exactly. I know it's stress. So,
Okay. Okay. So, what else do you want to share with our listeners about walking through the process, especially if you're diabetic, and how a health coach can set you up for success?
well, when I had gestational diabetes, I had to go to the hospital to actually learn how to eat. And when I became a regular diabetic, I had no one to help. But I remembered the things that they taught me, and they said you should have smaller meals throughout the day
Mm-hmm.
so that, 300 calories at a time. Make sure that you incorporate protein with your carb intake. So that could be, whether it's a slice of bread, but it's learning about how many carbs are in each item that you're putting in your mouth. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I'm Greek, a pita bread is 50 carbs. Who would have known? You're thinking that you're having, a chicken
Yeah.
souvlaki and you think you're doing well, but you're not.
Mm-hmm.
So half of it would be okay,
Yeah.
but who wants to eat half a pita? You
True.
know what I mean?
So good.
There's just learning ways to eat that doesn't make you feel sick, and taking your blood sugar throughout the day, 2 hours after you eat, to see where your sugar ended up being after 2 hours, because it shouldn't be high anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how I actually found out that I was diabetic. My company had like nurses come in to test our blood sugar, and I was at 188 2 hours after eating. And that's not a normal number.
Before that, you had no idea you had it. And what year was this, by the way, were you diagnosed?
2012 or 2013.
Okay.
So I tried all different kinds of medications to try and lower it. And it took a long time to find what was right, because if they over medicate you, your sugar goes too low.
Mm-hmm.
And I had an instance where I passed out in a diner. I knew I needed sugar.
Oh my
I
God.
walked into a diner to try to get some orange juice to raise it, and I dropped to the floor.
Oh my goodness.
I couldn't move anything. I could speak, but I couldn't move my body. And people thought I was drunk on the floor, and they were laughing at me. So I never want to go through that again.
Oh my, they didn't help you?
No, they stepped over me. And then when I could feel my fingers, I put my hand in my pocketbook and I had a piece of gum, and I put that in my mouth, and then I was able to stand up and ask for juice.
Oh my
The,
goodness. Were they helpful then? When you told them you're,
the staff was, but the people that stepped over me just walked past me.
that's horrible. That is such a shame. Someone in need of care, no matter what it is, someone's on the floor. I mean,
I know.
that's a shame. Ah, teaches us some other lessons about being kind to people and manners,
You have
basic
to.
stuff. My God, of course. But not everyone is. Ah, and so now you manage this and you're helping people. Could you share some of your, client stories of how, you're working with people, the success? Could you share some stories that maybe we could empathize with and people could say,
Yeah.
"Oh my goodness." Yeah.
I've had a client that was probably over 300 pounds her whole entire life. She was not eating correctly. She wasn't really exercising. She was a lifetime member of Weight Watchers, losing weight, gaining it back, losing, gaining it back. And she told me that she actually just went to the meetings to meet up with people. It wasn't even about weight loss anymore. She just liked having to share her week and go over everything with the coach that was there. But they really didn't hold you accountable for gaining weight. They were just like, oh, it's okay. Next week do better. I will hold somebody accountable, and not in a mean way, but
Yeah.
I'm here to help them and I will go over everything with them. And if you have a slip up, it's okay. It happens. You go to a family function, they're serving all the bad foods that you love and alcohol. It's going to have that, but it's going to happen, but you have to prepare for that. So before you go to a party like that, you should really maybe have some egg whites before you go and a piece of toast, something that will fill you so you don't go for the chips and the dips the minute you get there.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You know,
So
she had
tempting.
she had an awakening once I brought her shopping and we were able to read labels. And when that happened, she changed everything and was allowed to able to lose 5 pounds in 1 week just by
Wow.
changing what she ate
Wow.
because everything was processed, full of oil.
Mm-hmm.
It's amazing what you'll find out once you learn how to read labels, and that's probably the key to success.
It's also it's still confusing for me, like the total fat, the saturated fat, the poly blah 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 fat. It's like what, and I know they changed it a few years ago. They made the numbers bigger and the serving size and the calories, and it's like, and it's all based on a person who has a daily diet of what, like
2,000
1,000
calories a
calories.
day.
Got it. How do you know how many calories a day your body even needs?
Okay,
So,
let's come up with a dream weight. What do you want to be?
I don't have a dream weight. I'm just 120. So
Okay,
just pretend it's 120.
so if your goal weight was 120, for
Mm-hmm.
example, eating 1,200 calories a day should get you there.
Oh, wow. Okay.
If your goal weight, just say you're at 120 now and you really want to be 110, you should eat 1,100 calories a day.
Okay. Okay. Got it.
But you shouldn't have too little calories, like 800, because then your body's going to go into starvation mode and it's going to hold on to everything. And that's what people make mistakes with.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, when you're eating something with fat, with carbs, you have to make sure it has a lot of fiber.
Mm-hmm.
Fiber is also a big key into making you release all the food in your body because it will make you feel fuller. So I eat a lot of beans.
Mm-hmm.
That has a lot of fiber. I had, irritable bowel syndrome. But whenever I was stressed, I'd either have constipation or the opposite. So I
Mm-hmm.
had to manage that all through nutrition. A
Uh,
lot of people have gut issues, and that's where all your stress lies
mm-hmm.
in your gut.
Do you recommend probiotics? You keep hearing gut health probiotics, but then
Yep.
confusing. Then you go, there's a billion something less acidophilus in this one compared to like, what do we know? What do we need? How many different, you know, what's right for everyone?
As long as it's all natural, it's good for you. I know a lot of people that take Metamucil, and it actually benefits you, can't harm you, and that works. I take a pill form of Metamucil every day, and it allows me to go to the bathroom every day. But if I don't take it, then I'll be constipated. I can't believe I'm talking about this on air, but
Okay. Right.
it's true. And that was like a gift that my mother gave me of not letting me go to the bathroom. And that was just an issue all my life. But now that I have healed myself, I'm able to go more often. Eating beans every day really helps. Prune juice, fruit. Every day that I'm out, I bring cucumbers with me, sliced up with a little salt. I bring pineapple, blueberries, strawberries, anything. So I know I'm not put into a situation where all I have is a sandwich to eat or something inappropriate for my health. But every single person is different. So they're going to require specialized, personalized care throughout this process. And that's why the smallest, program I have is six weeks. I'm not going to figure it out in one session. I can by talking to them, but they have to learn within 6 weeks what changes need to be made.
Got it. And that's what I was going to ask. How long do you work with someone for standardly? What do your packages and programs consist of?
So I have a detoxification program that dedicates the 6 weeks of coaching and figuring out how to detoxify their system through nutrition, through lots of kind of therapy, I would say, talking about what's eating you. Why are you eating so much? Let's figure out how we can get rid of this. It's 6 weeks. And I also have a 3-month and a 6-month health and wellness program where we talk bi-weekly. We go through a shopping trip, a pantry analysis. We, review everything that's going on in their life at that time and any traumas that they're holding to figure out a way that they can make small changes.
Got it. It is small changes. And if someone does want to work with you, get information, how do we contact you and what is the process like?
So to contact me, you can contact me by phone, 516-404-3075. If you want to book a consultation, you could go to my website, divinehealthcoach.com, and you could click on any button. It will go right to my free consultation, and it will set you up with an appointment, and then we'll have our consultation. We will have a health history and discuss what your goals are and see if we're a perfect fit.
Good. And also, we can book a consultation just by going to the website, right? There's a button there, which is divinehealthcoach.com.
Correct.
Awesome. And we still got 2 minutes left. I don't want to cut you short. So what else did you want to add for everyone today?
We don't gain weight overnight and we don't lose weight overnight. And that's very important that people understand that you're not going to lose weight in 2 weeks and think that you're going to get to your goal weight in 2 weeks. This is not a fad diet, what I offer. I really get to the nitty gritty to figure out why you're overeating or what hormonal balances you might have and how to combat it. So it's going to be a process. It took me 3 years to lose 60 pounds.
And who did you go to? How did you get your start?
I started with Weight Watchers in the beginning, and that was probably about 20 pounds of my weight loss. Then I did intermittent fasting, and I also had my medications updated to help with keeping my blood sugar low because I was completely out of whack. So I would say it was a combination of all, and I've also given up red meat.
Ah, another thing. If you're giving up red meat because that's good for protein, what do you recommend substituting with? Beans?
Chicken, fish, turkey.
Mm-hmm.
I don't eat lamb, and I'm Greek. I don't eat any of that. I just keep it to chicken, fish, and turkey.
Okay. But to get substantial protein, can you get that from beans? I know you
Yeah,
mentioned that
you could
before.
get it from beans and protein shakes. I do that also
And
daily.
what about nuts?
Nuts are really good for you too. You have to have the essential fats,
Got it. Mm-hmm.
but not a whole bag of nuts, a handful.
Okay. Because that has a lot of saturated in it too, right?
Yeah.
But there's so much protein. And then it's like, oh, then you got to look at the salt. You got to look at the salt. And there's the walnuts. There's so many different peanuts in the peanut aisle. And it's like, yeah. And the roasted, don't get the honey roasted, get the plain.
Yes,
non-salted.
exactly.
Yep, I know. And almonds, I love almonds. Is there a
Mhm.
favorite nut out there? Is there like the best nut that has the most bang for your buck?
I would say walnuts.
Walnuts. Okay. All right. Good to
Mhm.
know. Well, thank you so much again. Mary,
You're
share one more
welcome.
time the best forms of contact for you.
Telephone 516-404-3075, and my website is divinehealthcoach.com.
Good. Thank you so much. Reach out,
You're
guys.
welcome.
And any questions, she's there to take them. Thank you so much. Great to see you today, be here
Thank
with you
you.
again, and to have you live in person as well. Thank you. Have
Thank
a great
you.
day.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Are you looking for even more of the podcasts and hosts that you love? The Podcast Business News Network is proud to announce that you now have even more ways to listen live. Check out the MyTuner Radio, online radio box, and Simple Radio apps on iOS and Android, or find us online. Search for Business News Network on mytuner-radio.com, or search Podcast Business News Network on streama.com and onlineradiobox.com/US. Take your podcast on the go and don't miss a minute of the action.
Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
For nearly 2,000 severely injured veterans, everyday life has become filled with barriers.
Day-to-day simple tasks can become pretty daunting.
I have to carry my chair up 2 flights of steps or have somebody do it for me.
What scares me the most is just the falling.
When I'm struggling with my house, I think, to have that one great barrier just knocked down, it's crucial.
Home for Our Troops is a wonderful nonprofit that builds a
Mortgage-free, fully adaptive, handicap-accessible house. And there's no catch.
It'll be our very first home that we've ever owned. This is a game changer.
This is where your life begins again.
We need you to join us in completing this important mission. Please visit hfotusa.org and help build homes and rebuild lives.
Because of you, everything's going to be okay.